And we are live, a brand new season of Woodbine Live, kicking it off here today. Really excited to be back with everyone watching on America's Best Racing channels right now on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We want to hear from you. Drop your comments in. Of course, the big one coming up in a few moments is going to be the Woodbine Oaks, a mini Kentucky Oaks for fillies and for fillies that were foaled in Canada. So we'll get to that in a moment. I am Dan Tordjman. This guy is JD Fox. That guy is Ellis Starr. And that woman is Ren Carothers down there. Really excited to be back with you. And we have a live guest who's standing by, who actually won the plate trial a few moments, a little earlier in the card at Woodbine. We're going to talk to him. But let's just kick it around the room real quick. JD, great to have you back. How you doing today? How's the track treating you?
Things are going well. I had a pick earlier that went well, and other than that, it's been bad. Sir Seamus was a big winner, paid $20 for me. Everything else has been terrible, but at least I've had that one to like even out the day with a big win. But we're excited for this late pick 4 sequence and these 2 stakes races coming up.
Late pick 4 coming up. As we mentioned, Woodbine Oaks. Then we'll get to the Royal North. Ellis, have you been rolling? You've been hot lately? You've been cold? You've been in between?
I've been feeling pretty good. Not hot, but good. I finally won a seat to the NHC for 2022 about 3 weeks ago, and had a couple of really good weekends. Nothing since. And the opposite of JD today, I played a pick 4, trying to get some nice long shots in with the easy winner of the 7th race, and I put $200 in a ticket and got $80 back. So I'm doing very good.
That's something. Ren, great to see you again. Of course, we've been doing all the Breeders' Cup live shows.
Yeah.
First live show of the season. But you've been handicapping Woodbine. I see you on the website there. You've been dropping picks left and right. Things are going well.
I drop them like I'm hot, like they're hot anyway. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was just sort of taken aback by the fact that, one of these things is not like the other. We got a beard, no beard here. Sorry. I actually, part of it, because I knew I was going to be dealing with the hair to face ratio today, I decided to go makeup free. My mom is probably at home going, oh gosh, why didn't you wear makeup? Because my mom's old school like that, be a lady always. But I was just like, come on, I'm going to be surrounded by beards. So.
Lots of beard.
And all natural. And also I told you before, I'm trying to clear up the mask knee.
Yeah. Well, as you can tell by Ren's intro there are really no rules here. So
no, it's all casual.
Grab a drink. I'm having one.
I will say, I had a pick because, like you said, I do handicap Woodbine. I did have a pick earlier today. Actually, 2 horses I had mentioned, they ended up running 2nd and 3rd. My top pick running 3rd, but horses to watch, I think. So go back and look at that. What race was it? I think it was race 2 on the card, main special weight. Horses to look at for next time.
All right. Well, horses to look at right now. Let's take a look at them in the paddock. They're about to come out onto the track here momentarily for the Woodbine Oaks. We want to hear what you think. Tell us who you think will win the Woodbine Oaks. Sorry, Ellis, for covering your face up there. But because we did, Ellis, we're going to drop this banner here. We're going to let you kick us off. Set this race up for us. The favorite right now, the horse way on the outside, the 10 horse. The 10 horse is Money for Row. Is that who you're landing on?
That was my second pick. This is my Woodbine race I did today for the website. I like the 1 and the 10, and I'm very surprised that Curlin's Catch is 7-2 off his 3-1 line. Money for Row 9-2. Actually, is favored over the horse that was the morning line favorite, Lorena, who's 5-2, who wired the field in the Fury Stakes at 7 furlongs. Curlin's Catch and Lorena both stretching out. They ran in the same race, but Curlin's Catch was coming off almost a 3-month layoff. I think she's going to move.
Did we lose Ellis?
He may have frozen.
Ellis, come back to us. Yeah. How about we pick it up with Red?
Oh, well, I went 3-10-1 in here. Okay. I'm going to try for a long shot. And, the thing is, Miss Marie, she was able to close into a slow pace. They went 49-1 for the half in that race. The buyer came back in 81. I know that in the forum, if you read the comment lines, they said, oh, well, it was an anti-speed track that day. I disagree with that. I mean, the horse who had set the pace as slow as it was, she ended up holding for second. She's in this race as well, Emmeline. And then there were a lot of horses who were the logical horses who either won their races or like Lorena, because that she ran in the Fury just the race prior. Mm-hmm. And then you had some horses who were pace setters who were able to hold on for a piece. So I think that was legitimate. Not only that, this filly has a tremendous pedigree, being by Carpe Diem, out of More to Like by More Than Ready. That dam is a half to Hard Not to Like. Yes. And
speaking of legitimate, you can see someone has taken Ellis's place here.
Antonio Gallardo. Woo!
Jockey Antonio Gallardo, who won the plate trial earlier today aboard Avoman, and who's new to the Woodbine Jockey Colony. Our Wi-Fi today is spectacular across the board. Everyone's doing really well.
I will say this. Like, Antonio Gallardo literally made me money on horses I owned. He rode. And this is, I had a cake maker for Ava's first birthday make a little fondant version of Antonio and my horse that had won that he rode. And I also have him on my wall there on my other horse. So I'm a huge fan of Antonio Gallardo, no question. Amazing clock in his head. Like, timing is everything in a race, right? And his timing is just impeccable.
Well, he's been spectacular at Tampa, at Presque Isle, and now at Woodbine. Antonio, okay, we got you back.
Oof. I'm trying hard.
We see you walking all over the place.
Oh,
First of all, real quick, tell us how great it was to win the plate trial earlier with Avoman. How excited are you moving forward, looking ahead at that Queen's Plate on August 22nd?
Oh, I'm very excited. It's a nice horse. I have the trainer telling me this morning he's doing really good. Everybody's like very excited. The owner and the paddock don't even can talk. It's like, I don't even can talk. I'm so nervous. I'm like, don't worry. I'm supposed to be nervous, not you. And, everything, I wish, in the beginning, a little bit more pace in the race. That way I have to move a little bit early. And, the horse feeling good and he doing his job.
That's awesome.
Antonio, we talked about moments ago. You've had a lot of success at your Wi-Fi. Yeah, there we go. We got it back. All right, we're good. But you're still with us. You've had success at Tampa Bay. You've had success really everywhere you've been, at Presque Isle, of course. What has it been like riding up at Woodbine so far?
I like it. The people is nice here. I love the turf. I love polytrack. It's nothing new for me, really. Thank God everywhere I go, I have good agents, good horses, good people behind me. That's easy to doing good, because a lot of people tell me, hey, you go to Mammoth, you're doing good. You go to New York, you're doing good. Because I have good, when you have good people behind you, like your agents, owners, trainers, horses, it's more easy.
I don't know if you missed it because you were having the Wi-Fi problems, but I was telling the guys I have you on my wall right there. Because you rode the horses I owned, you rode them to victory, so you're right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
It's unbelievable. I'm trying so hard. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sorry.
No, you're good. We appreciate you doing this. We'll ask you one more question. We'll let you go because you are riding not in the Woodbine Oaks, but the race following, the Royal North Stakes. You're on a filly named Jeannie B. Tell us about her and how hopeful you are about getting the winner's circle with her.
I run her in Tampa, a little bit too short, 5 furlong, over there, Tampa, that day the turf is very hard, and going 20, 43, she don't like that. She don't like that rush. Today, I like her, it's one horse over there. It's one filly over there, it's pretty tough. I like mine. I think, 6 furlong. I don't know. I'm very positive. I like it.
Well, we will see. Obviously, she's in with a big chance. She's 4-1 in the morning line. So, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
She's honest. I know her. She give you everything, everything she have. That's why I'm so confident with her.
Right. Antonio, thank you for checking in with us for a few minutes. We know you're in the jocks room and you've been running all over to try to get a good signal there. So thank you so much. We'll have you back another time.
Thank you. Okay. Have a good day.
Thanks.
You too.
Thank you.
All right, Antonio Gallardo from the Jocks Room at Woodbine. So let's do this. We'll go back to Ellis. We are now much closer to post time. You're only 4 minutes to the Woodbine Oaks. Ellis, why don't you pick up where you left off, and then we'll go to JD for his picks and
I'm not sure where I got dropped, but Curlin's catch was my top pick, and Money for Row, who was the favorite when we were on a minute ago. Lorena, who was the morning line favorite, led 7 furlong. Curlin catch, I like second off a layoff. I like 7 to 9 furlongs, and of course, I said it before. Curlin was the sire of the winner of 2018 Woodbine Oaks in Dixie Moon, and last year's winner, Curlin's Voyage. Cassie's got the pair with Lady Moonshine, who's kind of a big price here at 18 to 1. Curlin's catch last year won at Tampa, or actually it's February, won at Tampa, won the Suncoast. Already been 2 turns. Just looks like a great pattern. And Money for Row ran the fastest of any of these, at least according to the Equibase figures, 92 in the Celine, which was a mile and 16. She ran a good second. Nobody's going to beat our flash drive that day. She's actually won at 9 furlongs. She won on the grass at Keeneland in April, so looking for a horse to get the trip. So as of right now, I win bets on Curlin's Cash, and I boxed the 110. Exacta, played a few others underneath, but I think one of those two should get it done.
All right. Both Curlin's Catch, of course, Lady Moonshine, trained by Mark Cassie, who has won this race 3 times, most recently with Lexi Liu in 2014. JD, do you like one of the Cassies, or do you like the Horseway on the outside, or do you like something else completely?
I'm 5 deep in the pick 4 here, 1, 2, 4, 6, and 10, and my top selection is actually the 2 Jilly Marie for Katerina Vasilieva, and really this horse is 3 for 3 and tries really, really hard, all heart. She's probably going to be the smallest filly in the field, but she's got a lot of talent and a quick turn of foot. Trying something new for the first time, going 1 mile and 1/8, has only gone as long as 6.5 furlongs. But this is a great story. The first horse that owner Kevin Drew has ever owned, bought it from his neighbor Brian Wright through a sale for $11,000. And when she won back in November, the South Ocean Stakes, it was Vasilieva's first stakes win since 2012. So really the whole barn is behind this horse. And Steve Bain, the jockey up, has been up for all 3 rides and has been very complimentary of this horse's turn of foot. So 5 deep here, but I think Jilly Marie provides value at 8 to 1 here, Dan.
Mad respect on the pronunciation there. Very, very legit try there. I think
she follows me on Twitter, so I feel like she will. If it gets back to Vasilieva, that is how you pronounce her name. She moved to. She was born in Russia, moved to Toronto when she was 7. So there you go.
Oh, very cool, very cool. I am. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to pass it back to Ren. I'm about to put a bet in myself. I'm going to tell you what I bet once Ren completes her full thoughts and analysis. Of course, we cut her off when Antonio came.
Oh, it's okay. I was just saying that I feel like Miss Marie being able to close in for the win on when they went the half in 49-1. She was the only one. I mean, the horse back in 3rd was another 2 lengths back in Confident, and then Confident, the horse in 4th was 7.5 lengths back of her. So I mean, no excuses. And the fact that we saw Lorena win earlier, gate to wire, one race earlier on that card. The thing with Lorena, I understand why she was morning line favorite. I will say I'm a little concerned about the distance for her. It's not impossible. If she is a superior horse, then it would be okay. But I would, obviously try to beat her at the price she is. But anyway, although she 8 to 1 on the morning line right now.
Who's that?
Or on the current odds. That's
odds are on the bottom.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, 5 to 2. She's 5 to 2 right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah. If she floated up that much, I'd be like, what?
No, I know. I was like, wait a second. Okay, so I'm just trying to hurry. Curlin's Catch obviously makes a lot of sense. She's bred impeccably by Curlin, 3/4 sister to Chic Thrill. Mom was Sovereign Champion 2-year-old. Her grandmother was a champion 3-year-old there in Canada. But in my second spot, I'm going with Money for Row. Just plenty of class. I'm trying to hurry up because I see these horses are loading in the gate. But I will also say regarding Miss Marie, part of the other reason why I like her is I don't know that she is a horse that's going to come from far off it. I know that they're all going to have to try to catch Lorena on the front end. She broke very badly as it says right there, she did break outwardly. And again, that pedigree is so good. Carpe Diem over half sister to to Hard Not to Like. And also, this is the female family of a very important horse there in Canada, Canadiana, who won the Coronation, the Cup and Saucer, the Queen's Plate, etc. So really good pedigree on that filly. So I'm going 3-10-1.
Nice. And I love Miss Marie too. I'm on the 3-horse myself. I went 3-1, 10-4. So I'm basically playing trifectas, and I've got some win place money on Miss Marie at 11-1 because I like that price. I think 11-1 is a very fair price. 10-1, also a fair price. That was also the morning line. All right, JD.
I'll throw out a try real quick. I know it's too late. I bet it. In case I yell, I bet 110 over 1910 over all. I threw in Il Malocchio to get up for second as a price.
Okay, the price there, Il Malocchio. JD, we got the sound on this thing?
Off they race in the Woodbine Oaks to a perfect start. No distinct leader coming out with the narrow advantage, Lorena from Emmeline. On the outside is Lady Moonshine, and right behind them, Miss Marie the Rail. In the center, Ewens. On the outside in the first half is Il Malocchio. A length to Curlin's Catch, Jilly Marie the center. Money for Row on the outside, and one away last is Erasmo's Girl. So committed to be in front, it is Lorena. Lorena leads the Oaks field as they turn out the stretch by 3/4. Emmeline is second. Miss Marie tucked up on the inside, caught a bit wide. Il Malocchio going forward into fourth. Behind them is Lady Moonshine, Ewens. Curlin's Catch got back about 3 or 4 lengths off the lead. Then Money for Row. Jilly Marie is second last, and 2 to Erasmo's Girl is last. Lorena doing everything right early on. Lorena shows the way by almost 2 lengths. Emmeline is second. 1 away third, Il Malocchio, followed by Miss Marie. Ewens going forward. On the inside, Curlin's Catch. 3 wide is Lady Moonshine. Behind them is Money for Row. A break in the field, Jilly Marie, 2.5 away, second last. And Erasmo's Girl tacks on a length away last as they descend on Lorena. Lorena by a neck. Emmeline prodding for the lead. 3 wide, Il Malocchio. Right behind the trio is Curlin's Catch and Miss Marie. Money for Row making good ground around the outside. And then came Ewens. Jilly Marie starting to run. And back second last, Lady Moonshine. Erasmo's Girl is last. Emmeline testing Lorena. Emmeline's in front. Lorena under deep pressure. Money for Row, the outside looming. Turning in the Oaks, and Money for Row races up to Emmeline. Money for Row in front. Money for Row from Emmeline. Back in third is Il Malocchio, and it's Money for Row and Emmeline going on. Il Malocchio down the outside, but it is Money for Row. Money for Row and Justin Stein have the Woodbine Oaks. Money for Row by a length. Close for second between Il
Don't think you got there, Ellis.
No? Ewens was fourth, and then
Il Malocchio right at
150.
incredible race. I mean, covered so much ground too, and kicked on. That was incredible.
Yeah.
But Money for Row, look, got this set up.
Yeah.
They pressed Lorena. I mean, she went honest enough early. Let's see. Well, 24-1, 48-2, not that fast. I mean, at least. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you would think that a horse could sustain that, but she started taking some early pressure. I think that's probably what did her in. JD?
Yeah, I think I just think that it was too much of a task going 1 1/8 for this horse. But obviously, we'll see where they're going to put her next time. But I think it'll be back sprinting. But a great performance from Money for Row. Went off at 3-1 as the second choice. Really ran well. And Il Malocchio, I mean, it's very similar to the run we saw late last year in the Princess Elizabeth. Really came alive late and just not enough to get involved, and will wind up in third.
I was pleased that Patrick was choosing to ride Il Malocchio back. That's the reason that I threw him in that second. I hope I got the photo. But a comment about Curlin's Catch, great trip, but then he started to get caught behind. She got caught behind Lorena. And Husbands was moving up, and then he got caught behind Lorena, and you can see right here in the picture, he doesn't get out till inside the 16th pole, and by that point, he had lost 5 or 6 lengths. Unfortunately, he just never moved off the rail, hoping that Lorena, I guess, would come out, or maybe he'd get a shot. It did cost him. Just unlucky. You usually think the rail's a good position, but you have to get a hole, and he got stuck behind a horse that was tiring.
Ren, what do you think? I mean, to me, like I was actually going to ask you. I mean, what you thought if there was a legitimate excuse for Curlin's Catch. I thought she was a little one pace there at the end too. Even when
I don't think she really loves polytrack. I don't. And I think that maybe obviously you take your shot here because you have a horse who fits being a Canadian bred. So why not try her? Because she's shown enough ability, but I don't think she loves it. I feel, and I don't want to misquote him, but I feel like thinking back, I don't know if it was Antonio or somebody else, because this filly, he rode this filly in the Suncoast to a victory. And I feel like I remember something being said about her just being able to move a little bit forward, getting a better hold of the dirt there. But I can't remember specifically what that comment was. So I don't really think she has a huge excuse. I think my filly actually ran all right. Our filly, Miss Marie, she just was in between horses. A lot of horses get a little flustered when they don't have the room to really stretch their legs out. And so it can take sort of a physical toll because they're mentally frustrated.
Right.
But yeah, as far as Money for Rose, she was my second pick. Not that it really matters because, oh boy, 3-1 second choice or my second pick. But I will say really nice win from her. It made a lot of sense. If you look back into that last race in which she ran second, the filly was third that day. She was a horse that already won the Prescal Debutante, which is obviously on synthetic. And also the pedigree is really nice on that filly. Her mother, or her grandmother rather, is a full sister to Ashland winner Little Belle, who then went on to foal Dickinson, who we all love Dickinson, right? So, you know, nice pedigree there. And congratulations to the connections, Kevin Attarn and Justin Stein and Raroma Stable.
Is this the kind of horse you think they bring back for the plate now? Take the shot they've done, like Oaks winners have done so often.
Visually, I thought that was nice enough. I mean, but did you just not love this field?
I don't really love the. I mean,
I think it was a great effort. He said she was wide. I think she kind of, what was she, 5 or 6 wide on the turn at least, moved into what really ends up being a slow pace. And don't forget, I don't know, Ren, you can comment. I mean, her damn side is distorted humor. She should get the 1.25 miles of the plate.
I mean, I think that she's already, didn't she already win at 1.8 miles?
She won at 9 on the grass at Keeneland.
So yeah, I mean, I think you take your shot if you have a horse. Why not, right? But I would really have to see how it shapes up with the males too, because I think you have to have a filly of special quality to not only compete, but compete and prevail.
How about a filly named Go Filly?
Hey, I like Go Filly. I do. I'm a fan.
Well, now you can tell her right to her face because she's on with us. There's Jerry. Go Filly.
Hey,
What's
Go
up, Jerry?
I can't hear you guys yet. Hang on.
You can't hear it. Well, we're having all sorts of great technical issues today, so we'll see. So do we keep her up and watch her struggle through this process, or do we remove her?
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Got us?
I gotcha.
All right.
Hi.
How's it going, Sherry? What did you think of that race right there? Money for Roe coming through in the end.
I was so excited because that was my play of the day.
Nice, congrats.
Yeah. So, and I wheeled her. I got the exact in the try, so I'm pretty happy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That try's going to come back pretty strong with obviously Emmeline and Il Malocchio. And how about 4? I mean, whoever hit the super, Ewens at 85-1.
You know what? It was just one of those races where there were so many question marks, I thought, especially distance-wise, right? And I know that we were supposed to get a lot more rain today, and usually that tightens up the track and makes it a little bit more speed favoring. But even with the speed, there was a lot of speed there on paper. So I was just kind of hoping that Money for Roe could sit in that nice little pocket trip, and it worked out great.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, Ren.
No, I would just really need to see how it shapes up with the male side to think if she can, because I don't know. I don't know what this buyer's going to come back. I'm a buyer's person.
Mm-hmm.
I think she'd have to take a step forward from what she has done to think a legitimate.
I agree. I mean, it was that, like I said, there was a lot of questions in here, and we will just kind of have to see how all the figures come back for today, even, right? Just to kind of see where she fit. But man, she was strong. Strong.
Yeah, it was so cool. And that's the thing. I always hate the projection analysis of, do you think she goes here next? Or because I don't want to take anything to win. That was great. Big congratulations to winning the Woodbine Oaks. But yeah, I just don't know going forward because again, I don't feel like this was the toughest of fields.
You know what I think too is it's just natural for us to see the Woodbine Oaks winner as a possible contender for the Queen's Plate because it is the 3 weeks out, and we have seen some of the fillies come back and just dominate.
Right.
So I think it's just something that's really unique to Woodbine in that way, that every time, the Woodbine Oaks winner, it's just always a consideration. And it's such a big thing to run in the plate as well, right? Cool. So, I think that question is something that always lingers over the winner. And Kevin will do what's right for her.
Yeah.
So, but I'm happy for them. It was a great race.
It's interesting. So I remember maybe 5 or 6 years ago, Justin Stein. I mean, you'd see him up occasionally on a horse, and usually they at least when I was playing, I'd be like, the horse is like 30-1, 25-1. Wasn't getting the best mounts, wasn't winning, kind of at the level where he had been, earlier in his career. It's really incredible to see what's happened with Justin Stein over the past couple of years. I mean, he's the best jockey in the colony now, isn't he? I mean, am I missing something?
No, he, you know what, I think he took a year off, if I'm not mistaken, or he had retired briefly, and then he just really missed it. And ever since he came back, he was just a man on a mission. And last year he was on fire, and it's great. It's such a great story that to have that comeback and to come back at such a high level and do so well. Mm-hmm. So it's kudos to him. He puts in the work, he puts in the time, and it's nice to see that he was able to come back to where he kind of left off. And better.
Whose husband or wife is currently doing the dishes in the background?
That's my husband.
For a second, I thought it was some teeth brushing, and then I was like, no, that's got to be a pot and pan going on there.
Good. Trifecta just paid $240. Sure, you should pay somebody to do the dishes for him.
Yeah.
Don't pay him though.
That's funny.
This is the only one nominated. Said only the one is nominated.
Oh, Curlin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think I'd like to see her on turf personally.
I don't think we've seen the best of her yet. I really don't.
She's a really a nicely composed filly. Her conformations, from what I can see from the screen, looks very nice. She looks well put together, and the pedigree is exceptional. I don't think she's really gotten the chance to, like you said, put her best hoof forward.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think we've seen what she's capable of just yet. And I don't know, maybe she just has to grow into herself a little bit more, or they try her on turf next out, but I think that we're going to see she's going to be a force down the road yet.
Ellis, just so you don't think we're shortchanging you here, you do have fans here who are giving you credit for the Il Malocchio play as well. So,
well, I remembered because I when I first talked about the race before I cut myself off or whatever happened, I forgot. I said it was my race of the day for the website, and actually I had my sheet sitting here. I actually said play it second and third, so it was 110 over 1910 all, 110 over all, 1910. So people, hopefully, whoever's thanking me, I appreciate it. Got it off the website. Plus, I had a part wheel of 110, including the 6. So I probably bet a lot more money than Sherry did to hit it. But that's hopefully people were playing it off the Woodbine race of the day play, not the 10 seconds going to gate play.
Yeah, there was a lot of value there as two maidens finishing in the top 4. Obviously, Emmeline is kind of getting that bridesmaid role as she had another big race here and hasn't broken the maiden. And we mentioned Ewan's finishing 4th at 85-1. And Jeff Bratt, our friend at Woodbine, has been telling anybody who will listen, American Pharos, it doesn't matter if it's the turf or the synthetic at Woodbine, they seem to love being up in Toronto. And this is another case where they claimed the horse last out of a maiden claimer at Churchill for $40,000 and got almost all of it back here with this fourth place effort.
That's nice.
Just because I knew it would come up, American Pharos on the all-weather, 16 starts. Now 9 of 17 now have hit the board, and you've got 3 winners. So
remember American Pharos by Pioneer of the Nile,
right?
So
yep. So something to keep an eye on there. So we see here Money for Rose team still celebrating. We'll take this down for a moment, and we'll talk about the upcoming race, the Royal North Stakes, another really interesting race. I thought you could go a couple of different directions here. Just want to remind everyone who's just tuning in, this is Woodbine Live, presented by America's Best Racing. You can catch it on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube whenever we're live, and this is the first of 6 shows we're going to have this season. Our next show, August 22nd, the big one up at Woodbine, the Queen's Plate. So we're excited for that show. But for today, we still got the Royal North Stakes. We're going to show you the race. We want to know who you like. So drop in the comments which horse you're betting, how you're betting, and just let us know. JD, I feel like we didn't give you as much airtime going into that last race. I'm going to let you kick this one off here. The Royal
Sorry, JD.
Set it up for us. It's not your fault. There was a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of things going on. No, it's okay. So this is a very interesting race, and it was very interesting to see. And we don't have the board yet, the odds board to show you, as Woodbine Signal still isn't showing it. But very interesting based off the morning line where things were going to land. And I'm inside here. I like the 1, 2, and 3. And in order of preference, I'm actually 3, 2, 1. Lady Grace, won this race last year and was 12-1 on the morning line. Obviously, he's only raced twice since, and only raced once so far this year. It was an effort that she really needed at Churchill, finishing 8th. Second in that race was Change of Control, who was your morning line favorite here and is currently 7-5 on the board. But I do like the 2 Cassies, the 2 Jeannie B, who we heard from Antonio Gallardo earlier. He really likes the chances, and that was a strong effort last time out at Belmont with Louis Saez aboard. And then Amalfi Coast, of the horses that are really, truly based at Woodbine year in, year out. Amalfi Coast ran a really honest race last time in the Whimsical, and obviously she needed that one. So second up, I think Amalfi Coast has a big shot here. We haven't seen her much on the turf, but she's ran very strong efforts when able, and I do think this could set up for her from a speed perspective. She's going to come from off of it in this spot.
Yeah, I'm actually, just like you, I'm actually very curious to see what price flashes first for Amalfi Coast. That's a horse.
I can tell you if you don't want to wait.
You let us know. You got it? What is it right now?
I got it too.
8-1, right? She's still in morning line.
I like it.
8-1, 5-1 Jeannie B, 7-1 Lady Grace, 8-5 Change of Control. Lead Guitar's up to 7-2. Yep, and Jeannie's Beep Beep is 8-1. The other 2 are still long shots. Fairy Red and Sister Peacock at 23 and 17.
Yeah, I think what could be interesting here in talking about the setup, Dan, is for me, I think that the 3 outside horses are the horses that want the front. So in a situation like this with an 8-horse field, I think that always sets up for interesting race dynamics to see who out of that bunch can clear, and if there's any traffic trouble for some horses that need a bit more speed to develop of those inner horses. So I really think Sister Peacock's probably going to go out to lead, and Sister Peacock has had some good efforts out front here at Woodbine, and obviously last year in the Royal North set some absolutely blazing fractions.
Ren, I know you're more of the pedigree type when we're jumping into the conversation, analyzing the race, but from a pace perspective, I am curious, what do you think? To JD's point, is it Miss Peacock alone on the lead, getting pressure from the 2 horses to the outside? What do you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think he's pretty much got it, laid out for you right there. But I mean, just to be honest with you, obviously in this situation, I'm not going to look at pedigree because these horses are pretty much proven, having been on both surfaces, whether they've run on turf and then synthetic, and now they're coming back to the turf or whatnot. I will say I am so boring on top because I just think Change of Control has just been against such superior competition. I mean, when you look at all these running lines, I mean, Into Mystic is a horse who, is a multiple stakes winner. She actually got the lead in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. You see that last race was really, PD Bianchi's an honest horse. The other thing is back going into the Unbridled Sunday race. The horse who was 4th that day, she's on the Warpath, was 3rd in the Mint Julep, and then just won the Ellis Park Turf. And in 5th, you had Alexandra, who just beat the boys, including Raging Bull, by the way, in the Grade 3 poker and got a 103 buyer figure. This horse has just, this is like class relief, in my opinion. But I do like in second, Lady Grace I think perhaps, it's JD already went over. She was in the Unbridled Sunday as well. Or, oh my gosh, am I saying the stakes right?
It's close. It's Sydney, I believe, but we're not. We're gonna hold you to it.
I just hold it. Hey, okay. In any case, she was in that stakes race there at Churchill Downs when the turf came up good at 5.5 furlongs. I will say the one thing that did stand out to me, in addition of not only was it off a pretty lengthy layoff because she had previously run in the Grade 2 Nerf tick against the boys. So this is a long layoff. She ran without Lasix. The Lasix is back again today. So you could look at the fall off figure wise, a combination of both issues, or maybe it was one or the other. But in any case, she's got a little bit more recency anyway. And she now has the Lasix back. So I like her in second. And then to round out the top three, I went with the 7-horse Lead Guitar. I think she's just an honest racehorse. Those figures look pretty impressive. The question's going to be, she's been on the shelf for a pretty long time. She has run really well fresh, but it actually takes her, it looks like a race or two to get to her top form. So I don't think she might be good enough to win right off the bench, but I do think she's good enough to get a piece of the pie.
All right. Sherry, did I spot a Rolling Rock there?
No, Tuborg.
Oh, Tuborg.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, very good.
What you got?
I'm drinking something called Super Special Sauce.
It's probably IPA, right?
It is an IPA.
Yes.
Double dry hopped.
Like 8.9.
It's only 8.5, I think.
8.5. Okay, well, that's close.
I have to say I'm a little disappointed, Sherry. I expected it to be a solo cup with something sassy written on it.
I know. You know what? There's a funny story to that, but I'll save that to another time.
No, this is the time. It's only, we still have 10 minutes to post. Go ahead, go for it.
Well, my husband actually just changed our beer keg outside, and it's an 8.2 beer. And I thought of you, Dan, right away, because we don't usually have those kind of beers, but our neighbor actually makes beer. So we got it from our neighbor, and it's taken a long time to get it hooked up because it's different than a normal keg. And so he finally got it hooked up today. So we do have stuff outside, and maybe next time for Queen's Plate, I'll have a nice little sassy cup.
You're living next to a bootlegger? Is that what's happening?
Well, maybe. I don't know. COVID's changed a lot of things around here.
No rules anymore. Hey, look, I'd move in next door. That's great. I mean, if my neighbor's making beer, I'd be very happy.
Another price in there that you might want to entertain for the exotics is Jeannie's Beep Beep, because when we look at that, obviously we look at that last race. She won by 3 3/4 lengths. Spanish Ballerina, she was next third in the Belade Stakes. But the race 2 back, Rising Seas, was later second to Sconsin in the Grade 3 winning colors. So, I mean, she's been up against some pretty nice horses, and I really am a big fan of Contreras there. So maybe another horse. I mean, I'm looking at the odds right now. She's 7-1 on the morning line.
Ren just stole my thunder. I'm done.
Oh, I'm so sorry. By the way, I'm so sorry to the horse namesake Unbridled Sydney. I'm so sorry.
I'm just being funny.
Ellis, does this mean you're sitting this one out now in protest? Or are you...
No, just means Ren made some points. No, so JD could be right. There could be a lot of speed on the outside. I think that when you get a horse like Jeannie's Beep Beep, who won before last at Keeneland on the dirt, closed from 4th to 2nd, she does not wear blinkers. And I think when you get her on the outside, I think she will allow herself to be rated. So if any of the inside ones go, if not, he does go. He rode her for the first time. That was a private trainer change. They claimed the horse for $50 off Mike Maker in March at Turfway. She'd already won a couple $100,000.
Really terrible at Saratoga, by the way. Mike Maker can't win a race.
Oh my gosh, fire! And the claims were $50, and put her in allowance at Keeneland. She ran second, stretched her out. The race that she got claimed out of was a mile. Put her back in a sprint, stretched her out, then shipped her to McKnight. And that last race, I mean, she was ridden out. 3 lengths, ridden out. 98 Equibase speed figure, probably the second best in the field behind Lead Guitar, who's much lower odds. And I think Contreras can get just a trip here. And as Ren mentioned, she's just ultra consistent. Always there at the 8th pole, 12 or 14, first or second. She's my key here. A guy use change of control. She's also ultra consistent. And then I'm using Lady Grace, who's sitting at 8-1. I don't get this. Last year's winner Last year's winner, she was 6-1 last year, coming off an allowance win at 6 furlongs. She didn't run well, and the near tick was I'd say way over her head, just didn't run well. Came back at Churchill and ran 8th. Look, Kimura's getting back on. The last 2 works are pretty good. It's Cassie. I can't ignore this price. So I'm betting Jeannie's Beep Beep to win, a little win bet on Lady Grace, and then Lady Grace change her call Jeannie's Beep Beep for the exacta here. But I think the outside is going to be very kind to Jeannie's Beep Beep.
I love it. Prices. Everyone's giving us prices. JD gave us a 7-1. Ellis gave us an 8-1. Ren, of course, gave us the favorite. Sherry, what are you giving us?
I like Jeannie B in here, actually. I think she's going to sit just off of the outside speed that's going to go. And I think she's going to sit the trip. And you know what I like about her is she's had a run over this turf course already, too. And I mean, I'm not saying these horses are obviously, there's a lot of class in here. But I just think that, you know what, she really likes it here. She has a win and a second over the course. And I think that confidence win last out was really good for her. And I think she's going to move forward off of that. So I really like her. And I think if I can get 5-1, that's fantastic.
Antonio Gallardo, when we had him on, he described her as honest. So she's a very honest horse. I always like to try to read jockeys a little bit. He didn't seem overly excited. That might have been him, though, like kind of trying to.
Even killed. He's like
very.
Yeah, and I mean, like he said, they went 20-3 and 43-2 when he rode her on the front end in the Lightning City, and that horse, Miss Armet, is a really nice horse. She actually got a 93 Beyer speed figure for that victory. She's picked up another stakes win since, as well as 3 other stakes placings. So, you know, no slouch there. And yeah, he's got a horse coming in that, she's got speed, but she can sit back and relax. So that's pretty important.
We're not throwing any love to her owner. What's up with that? He might be watching.
Oh, CJ, yeah. And you know what else I think too sometimes is that, when you think there's going to be that speed that happens, it doesn't transpire. So if maybe the outside horses don't want to go, or they get into kind of like a little bit of a speed match or something, like maybe they don't want to get their horse in a duel, so they'll pull back a little bit and they won't send them, then Jeannie B can actually take the lead too. That's kind of what I like about her. If, the pace doesn't transpire how we think it's going to look, well, then he's got options.
Yep.
Right? Because a lot of times they do that. Like you see that happen, right? You see speed, and then it's pulled back and somebody else takes the lead and goes gate to wire.
Well, yeah, if you want to kind of try to game out a little bit based on the connections, I mean, obviously Jeannie B, Lady Grace, both trained by Mark Cassie. So does one go and the other sits back? It certainly makes sense that Jeannie B would be sent and show a little more early pace. The other thing that's interesting when you look at those 2 horses, Kazushi Kimura, you could argue probably rode Jeannie B for a couple of her best races. And you would have thought that, again, since he's riding for Cassie, he probably has the choice here, right, between Lady Grace and Jeannie B, and he chooses Lady Grace. So, again, some of that is guessing.
That might just be a scenario in which Gallardo's ridden Jeannie B before, whereas he'd never been on the other fillies.
Recently, too. Like, he rode her recently, more recent than Kimura maybe or something, right?
Well, also, Kimura rode Lady Grace last year's Royal North victory, so I think that kind of, if you're him and his agent, you're going to say, I don't want to not be on this horse again.
Right. See,
thanks for all slapping me down
title.
on that point. I appreciate that. That was No, that's fair. You kept me in check. I don't know. I don't know how strong the relationship is between Kimura and Cassie, but obviously it's fairly strong. So who knows? I mean, but yes, you do bring up a valid point that certainly Antonio Gallardo on a national and international scale is kind of a bigger name than Kazushi Kimura, right? So I mean, if he says, if he's available to ride in a race like this, and he's ridden the horse recently, he rides. So that's totally fair.
Let's throw another monkey wrench in here. These 4, both Jeannie B and Lady Grace, showed the exact same last 4 workouts, distance, everything, date. And so my guess is they worked as a team. The last 4 workouts.
They flashed a graphic up about 2 minutes ago saying regarding that about them being workmates, and I believe it said Jeannie B actually outworked Lady Grace in their last go together. But that being said, I would also remind everybody that the last time this filly ran, it was without Lasix. She's getting her Lasix back today, and so I don't know how much to read into the work comments. Not that they're not without value. I'm sure, a lot of people rely on getting maybe a bit of an edge or a little inside scoop using them. But I'm just saying it doesn't necessarily mean she's the better horse today.
I wouldn't sleep on Amalfi Coast either. I'm definitely using Amalfi Coast on my ticket.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come back on the other end of something I'm about to show you, and I'll kind of just throw a couple of plays out there. I actually like a longer price than anyone has mentioned here. I may be out of my mind, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you that horse in a moment. But first, I want to take a look back at a video that we shot with Megan Devine up at Woodbine, I would say about 2 years ago. This is right after
that was 2 years ago.
the inner turf. Yeah, so let's take a look at this. This is how she approaches turf races.
Well, it's no secret that I love turf racing. Not only can you get some awesome prices, but you've got great fields of horses to work with. And when we're talking about turf racing, whether it's the E.P. Taylor course here at Woodbine or the brand new inner turf course, there's a couple of things that I like to look for. One is pace. You have to see how fast you think that race might unfold. Are there a lot of horses with early speed, or are there going to be a lot of horses that are saving ground? Now, of course, you have to talk about class as well. You want to find out if a horse is coming from a tougher race or maybe an easier race and is stepping up against tougher company today. Now, of course, anytime we're talking about turf racing, you have to get the right trip. So it can be a rider's race sometimes. If you can get the best trip, save ground, a lot of times those horses will find their way to the front on the turf course.
So Megan mentioned two things that kind of are the perfect segue for me to tell you why I love Sister Peacock. Yes, the 6-horse Sister Peacock at 19-1 right now. And she mentioned class and she mentioned pace. And so with Sister Peacock, you got a couple of things going on here. Obviously, the last race was an allowance race on the all-weather. I'll get back to that race in a moment. But prior to that, you could argue she's run her best races on the turf, on the front end, and she's shown incredible speed in those races. So, and again, those were grade twos. There's a grade 2 grade 3s over the all-weather, but the grade 2, the Royal North last year, she finished 5th. She went silly fast early, like silly fast early. I don't think she has to go that fast today. The other thing is going back to that last race, the all-weather race, if you watch that race, she had a major excuse there. She stumbled, went to her nose out of the gate. She spotted the field a ton of ground. And she's one who, as I mentioned a moment ago, she's usually at her best when she's on or near the lead. So I don't think we saw anything there that you need to necessarily spend too much time focusing on. And if you go back to the races where she's run this distance on the turf, and again, consider the fact that she's running graded stakes company prior to this, has a bit of back class. And if lead guitar and Jeannie's Beep Beep don't necessarily want to compromise themselves by trying to keep up with Sister Peacock, I think Sister Peacock could slow it down on the front end, and I think she could be dangerous. Look, can she hold on at that price? I'm not sure, but I take a swing at 22-1. I'm just going to bet her to win in place, and then I thought the obvious horse to kind of round things out, if I'm playing it exactly here, which I am, is Change of Control. So Ren, as much as I give you a hard time for that,
well, look, Jeff Bratt is eating chalk along with me as well, I have to say. But no, I mean, like what you're saying. Okay, if she's anything like she was, because that last time she was on turf was, as you just said, in the Royal North of last year, she went 43-2, 54-3, and yet she was still only ultimately, 5th, beaten a length and a quarter. So if she can have that form, if she can get out there like you're talking about, I don't think that's insane. If you get out, relax, but is she going to be allowed to do that? I don't know. But even if she's pressed hard, if she's that same horse, which who knows? That's a year ago. She could definitely pull the upset. So I don't think you're nuts.
I want to emphasize those splits. She went 21-4, 43-2, 43-2. I'm just repeating it in case like there's a glitch. Like 43-2 for a half mile, and then she still led inside the final 16th of a mile, and she just had 4 horses pass her like in an instant in the last 50 yards.
Again, it's the 54-3 that just makes me go, what?
Right? Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. So we'll see. Look, I think we're on record here as having just about every horse in the race. The only one we didn't talk about is the 5
Fairy Ren.
I know, and I love the name.
Extra letter in there, though.
Yeah, right. The W is for winner.
Oh, there you go.
All right, so good luck if you're getting those last-second bets in now. We're about to watch the Royal North going 6 furlongs on the turf at Woodbine, Grade 2, $175,000. Really fun field. Your favorite as they load in right now is the 4-horse Change of Control. You're watching Woodbine Live, episode 1 of 6 for this season. As Robert Geller said, stand by to start. Enjoy.
On their way in the Royal North lead, Guitar missed the start, was 2 lengths behind the entire field. So a lot to make up now, and out in front as they go, it's Jeannie B on the inside and Sister Peacock driving clear. Sister Peacock goes out in front, about a length to Jeannie B, taken up to relax in second, and driving into third is Change of Control over on the inside of runners early as Amalfi Coast settling about 3 or 4 off the lead. And as they settle into stride, still 3 wide, Jeannie's Beep Beep, and coming back into the ruck is Fairy Ren from Lady Grace, and last is Lead Guitar. Showing the way, Sister Peacock by a length. In second is Jeannie B. Lying third, Change of Control. Up the rails comes Amalfi Coast from Jeannie's Beep Beep, the outside, then Fairy Ren. Lady Grace making ground, tracks up the rail. Lead Guitar is last as they turn for home, and Sister Peacock in front. By a length to Jeannie B in second. Trying to make up the ground is Amalfi Coast, Change of Control, and down the outside, Jeannie's Beep Beep and Lead Guitar. The rail Lady Grace is Jeannie B's gone to the front. The new leader, Jeannie B from Sister Peacock. On the inside, Amalfi Coast, Change of Control. Down the outside, it's Jeannie B in front. Running on is Amalfi Coast and Change of Control. Jeannie B in front of Change of Control and Amalfi Coast as they come right down to the wire.
Amalfi Coast,
close. Amalfi Coast or Jeannie B in a head bob in the Royal North. Goes to a tight photo. Behind them, Change of Control and Lady Grace. A photo to decide it.
I think it was the 2. It froze
Race
there.
time 1:09.
I know. I'm like,
Oh my God.
I think the one.
It might be a dead heat.
I think the one got the nose down from my vantage point.
I agree with JD on the live feed. Luckily, I had it up. I looked up. I think the one just got it by an inch.
It was, but then I saw the 2. I don't know. We'll have. It almost looked like a dead heat. We'll see. I mean, if
it is a win for the first quarter, 22 and 3, a half,
I think.
5 and 4, 57.
Be the 2.
I mean, so this is.
They both ran so well. They should, it should be a dead heat.
I think all of us,
I would be okay with that.
I think all of us kind of knew on class Amalfi Coast was one to look out for, but yeah, it looks like
it looks like a dead heat. I don't know.
That's
I went 1, 2, 3 in the pick 4, so I'm happy either way here.
Does
I've got both
have
of
any
them.
excuse, guys?
No, but you see, you know what? Again, that was my point before too, right? Like, I totally believe that she should have been the favorite in here, but sometimes they just don't. When they ship in, they just don't have that same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And our lane is long. Maybe she doesn't like that. You know what I mean? So I always try to kind of take advantage of a local horse or one that has a run over the turf, or you know what I mean? And I mean, it doesn't work all the time, obviously, but
I will say she beat Piedi Bianchi last time, which while I have been known to bet Piedi Bianchi in every race that she runs, I am reminded that she is America's favorite Indiana bred, and I love Eric Holstrom and Rachel McLaughlin and everybody at Indiana Grand, but I just had to say that.
Well, do you know the other part of that equation may very well be the fact that she likes a little give to the turf course.
Yeah.
You look at every good yielding. When she
Amalfi got it.
All right.
You got to hand it to Justin because if you watch the head on, he came out a little bit and then he came back into the rail. And I mean, he just rode that mare so nicely. And how about that back-to-back wins for Justin
Kevin
and
Attard?
Kevin Attard?
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Wow.
How about that JD Fox almost nailing this trot cold?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
We have
Good
it.
job, JD, with the 1-2.
In inverse order of preference, because I said 3-2-1, but hey, it counts just the same, right? As long as you have them covered.
You got the exacta. It's a nice exacta 5-1.
Yeah, I got the exacta too.
We do have an inquiry. I would imagine it's two. Well, I don't know. Is it the 1 on the 2? I mean, what's the inquiry? I mean, what are they looking?
I think it's the 7 at the start.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Could be it.
I think if it's going to see if the 7's declared to start. I don't have audio up, so I could be wrong on that. But when they showed the head onto the gate, I do think the assistant starter may have still had a hold on the 7.
Okay.
I have audio, but there's not. Robert's not saying anything.
Yeah,
but you're probably right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think the 7's going to be a starter here.
Oh, that's unfortunate, eh?
It is.
But
and then I was wondering.
Darn it.
I was wondering where she was. I was wondering where the 8 was. I was feeling good on the front end. I mean, I was like grinning. I think they did the quarter in like 22 and 4. I was like, oh my god. Like,
yeah.
I'm home here.
Yeah, but that's part of the thing, and I understand why this is frustrating when it happens, because lead guitar is a horse who could have had a say in some of the pace dynamics, and so it gets a little frustrating when this happens. Obviously, nobody's trying to make a mistake in the gate. These guys risk their lives going in there with the horses, and sometimes things just happen.
Well, she was leaning in. She was leaning in. He was trying to push her back at the exact moment.
Yeah,
and
he was probably
yelling.
he was probably trying to get her from rushing out of the gate and get her nice and straight heading out.
As for Jeannie's beep, by the way, I mean, she ran the race. I thought she relaxed off the pace, but she had nothing for the drive at all.
Yeah, today was this is one of those days where I'm like, yeah, I'm embarrassed that I took some chalk. This was, retrospect, you can go, well, yeah, all these races that she's been putting together and putting up these big figures, there's been some, significant give to the turf course.
Yeah. Look,
and I think,
I was going to say, on recent change of control was obviously, the horse who made the most sense, which is why you got 3-2. But that was a little disappointing.
She's been good on firm too, so I'm not going to I'm not going to beat myself up too much. She's been good on the firm turf as well. But yeah, poor Fairy Ren. Where that horse finished last.
We were all right about that.
I know, right?
Oh, JD was right.
JD, go ahead. You were about to say something. Sorry.
I was just going to say, from a wagering perspective, even though, obviously Amalfi Coast was 5-1, Jeannie B was 6-1, in the multi-race exotics, Jeannie B was favored over Amalfi Coast. So that result got a little extra potential money for myself and Sherry as we advance here in the multi-race exotics.
Nice. Yeah. You guys
it's
no announcement yet. It's just
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they're probably. But you know what? Like I said, Jeannie B set the perfect trip, really, too, right in behind Sister Peacock, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she just got nosed out. Amalfi ran huge, and what's funny is, like, I was there when Amalfi Coast raced against Boardroom, and she ran lights out. She just got beat. And I knew that coming back, she was going to be tighter and stronger. And, we always wonder with the turf, would it be the same or whatever? But she just looked so good that day that there was no way I was going to leave her out today. And I'm happy for her because she always runs her heart out. She really does. And it's nice to see her get that win.
Wow. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Fun. So on the downside, especially if you obviously bet the 7, you get your money back, but obviously your prices and your returns are going to drop a little bit. If you had the 1 Amalfi Coast, and if you all the exotics there, the exactas and tries, but obviously most unfortunate for lead guitar. I mean, who figured to be a real player at this race? So
yeah,
those couple lengths made a big difference that she lost by getting tangled up in there.
Yeah. All right. Let's wait till the prices show up. We want to show the prices, but as we're waiting for the prices, I just want to remind everybody you're watching Woodbine Live here. We have 6 live streams coming up over the next couple of months. We actually have a harness live stream coming up as well, the Pepsi North America Cup. We're going to do a live stream. That'll be fun. Ellis is a big harness handicapper, so we're going to
I can't. You mean facetious, Dan?
Of course, yeah.
Well, wait a
No,
second
you guys
now. I gotta
like
tell you,
you guys would.
I made my chops at Hollywood Park night racing in
There
the
you go.
80s when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Little Cal Expo, little drunk Cal Expo never hurt nobody.
Well, I was gonna say Cal Expo when I was a kid and sober, Dan. But yeah.
See, like that, I question whether you're joking or not joking, because like you guys have got the degeneracy going on where like you could bet on whether or not you were telling the truth regarding that.
My dad and I used to go to Del Mar in the day and Los Alamitos harness at night. So
Wow.
Nice.
I know my way around a standard bread once in a while.
All right. Well, we might need to have you on there for that show. So that's Pepsi North America Cup night. We'll be live then. Our next show, though, of course, is the Queen's Plate. Sherry, you going to try to get out there for Queen's Plate?
Yes, you bet.
All right. Well, we may have to bother you for a quick live update there from the
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
So the odds dropped a little bit. They went from 5-6 to 7-2 and 5.
Okay. Well, they're price. I mean, still a very nice exacta for $2. You're getting almost $50. The double there for $2 returned 50.80. So if you're alive in that pick 4, those are decent numbers to see there. $1 try, $53, and the superfecta for $1, 132.75. Not bad again when you're looking at a 7-horse field after the 7 was declared a non-starter. So
Did they show the picture yet? I want to see how close that was. That was a That was a rip.
I thought it could be a dead heat.
Yeah, I'd like to see the picture. Yeah, but it did look like the one got it. I was hoping, but but I kind of know where the wire is, and I was like, bummer.
She really did stretch her neck out.
And Justin, he knew, right? I give him credit because he knew exactly where that wire was, and he just gave Amalfi the perfect bob. So that's fantastic.
Here's another quick question for you, Sherry, regarding what exactly have you seen with what are the whip regulations there for at Woodbine exactly? Because I do wonder, like you said, when you have had a horse who's been running there at the track, so what we've seen of them is what you're pretty much can expect from them given those race regulations. This filly was coming in from the New York circuit. I wonder if like a little more encouragement would have gotten her there quicker, but then here at Woodbine, Patrick Husbands has to abide a little more,
right?
Not just a little more, has to abide in line with what those regulations are. So what are they exactly?
You can't overhand, right? It has to be under the you can't go past your shoulder, and I think you can do 3 taps. I don't know exactly, but I think you can do 3 taps, and then you have to wait. And then you can do 3 taps and you have to wait. I don't know the full, but I know there's no overhand. And it's taken a lot for the jocks to get used to it. I mean, I think this is going into our 3rd year. Like, I wonder if Sean Bridgmahan and Gallardo had a hard time adjusting. You know what I mean?
Like, question. Because I was just watching.
It could even be with Jeannie B. If he could have maybe, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It really does change everything.
And the only reason I thought of that is I was watching the stretch replay and watching change of control and watching Pat and just the motion was so much different from what I'm used to seeing.
Yeah. So maybe she didn't get the turn of foot that normally she would have otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, because here's the thing. When I'm doing my Woodbine selections, I'm generally giving a maiden race.
Yeah.
So those are horses that we don't know what they're going to necessarily do anyway. So watching a race, graded stakes race here at Woodbine, it kind of was a little more eye-opening and thinking, okay, well, what could have potentially been the different reasons to, get this much of a horse versus this much? And I don't know, maybe it played no role at all, but.
It does make a difference. Like when they first introduced the rule, when you were handicapping, you had to really, really take that into consideration. Because some horses just respond differently than others. Right. Some don't need a whip. Some really need a whip. Some, need that encouragement. I shouldn't say need a whip before I upset everybody. I don't mean it that way. I just, but it, like handicapping wise, it really threw us all off for quite some time. And now, like, you almost kind of wonder, okay, well, when they're in their works, do they encourage the horses a little bit more so the whip isn't as prominent or isn't as needed? Right. So with the shippers that do come in, it's a whole different ballgame, or even jocks per se, right? Because they'll find them.
Oh no, for sure.
Yeah.
I will say I would imagine, and we didn't ask him this directly, but I would imagine a big part of the reason Antonio Gallardo is riding. There's the photo right there. Whoa!
Oh my gosh, that looks like a dead heat.
Oh.
I'm not sure how they call that. I mean, I got hats off to the placing judges.
It's a whisker. It is a whisker.
Oh my
wow.
gosh. Oh.
Oh, and look at Antonio. He's riding for all he's got.
Oh.
Wow. That's just a wow.
Wow.
Well, wait till you see the photo.
Poor CJ.
Wait till you see the photo for
Yeah.
6th with the Sister Peacock. It's amazing.
Wow, right. Oh,
Keep trying, Dan. Keep trying. Keep digging.
yeah.
That is as close as it could get without being a dead heat.
1,000%.
I was going
Yeah.
to say, I assume Antonio Gallardo, who has ridden some, the past few summers at Monmouth Park, is probably at Woodbine because of the whip rule at Monmouth Park.
I'm almost sure. I'm pretty sure. Didn't we see him saying that he was going to ride?
I think he did. Yeah, he did post on social.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, look, that was a lot of fun. To everyone still alive in the pick 4, bring it home.
Yeah.
Let's
Congratulations.
get a big ticket. Got a couple of nice prices to start off, and hopefully we could finish up with a couple of big prices as well. This is Woodbine Live. We're going to be doing it again on Queen's Plate Day, August 22nd. So be sure to tune back in for that. Appreciate everyone who tuned in for our kickoff show today. This was a lot of fun, guys.
How cool would it have been?
Great.
I'm happy for Sherry, but like, how cool would it have been if, like, we had if Antonio had gotten there?
Right.
Sherry could have said, like, look, you tuned into our show. We get the winning jockey before he's in the circle getting his photo taken.
Yep.
And it was like that close. Like it couldn't have been any closer.
Before you know it, the jocks will be calling us, be like, "Yo, what do I have to do to get on this show?"
Exactly.
And we did tip Amalfi Coast as well. So
Yes, you did. Yes,
Right?
you did. You can publicize it that way. Dishing out winners. You can kind of, yeah. I don't always give chalk, but when I do, it wins.
All right,
JD,
this is
see what
the
you pick for
Woodbine
home,
Live.
JD.
I'm gonna drink some water now.
For Ellis, for Sherry, for Ren, for JD, I'm Dan Tordjman. We'll see you next time on Woodbine Live.
Thank you.
Ta-ta for now.